stay woke, stay fresh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Sorry, I had to get the mic working. Of course, we had technical difficulties right when we started the show. How fun is that? That's always fun, isn't it? Well, that's right. What was that you're saying? What is that just happened right now? That is our new theme song made by yours truly, and it was out of necessity because apparently the song that I found that I've been using for this entire podcast was not what do you call it? What's the goddamn word? Market free? Duty free? Shit, I forgot the word. Well, whatever. You know what the word is. The one where you can use it. Copyright free, free copyright. I forgot the goddamn word. But yeah, I got a copy strike on YouTube as soon as I posted our podcast up. And what pretty much happened was I realized that we needed to get a new theme song. So I got right to it. I used to be a music producer back in the day and a DJ, so I know how to mess around a little bit. Obviously, it's not the greatest quality, but I think it's pretty cool. It has a little bit of charm, and the fact that it is kind of amateurish is kind of part of what this podcast is really about. We're really ground floor rooted to the ground kind of guys, you know. We're just humble beginnings, and this is it. Anyway, though, I'm John the Wise. Welcome to the Point and Click Podcast, where we talk about video games, current events, and anything else we want to talk about. Unfortunately, right now, Czar is not with me today. Czar Salesman is my co-host. He is on a family outing or something similar to that, but the show must go on. I will tell you guys about the current events that are happening in the video game industry right now. And there's a lot going on, especially since last week, exactly on the podcast, right when we were doing the podcast, right when we ended, I went to the bathroom, I checked Twitter, and that Jacksonville, Florida shooting happened at that Madden tournament. So I was like, oh my God. And you know what? I thought to myself, should I make a video about it? Should we capitalize on this news story? And I decided I didn't really want to because I didn't want to use a tragedy to better my career, even though, especially since, nobody asked me to make the video or anything. If I had a bunch of people asking me hey, are you going to say anything about this? Then I would have made a video, but I wasn't going to be like, oh, let me jump on this and make something because it's topical and whatever. So I skipped that, and I think Czar felt the same way. And we decided we'll just talk about it next week, and whoever likes our podcast will just wait till next week to listen to it, And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're obviously not going to cover everything that you've probably already heard. I might do a quick rundown. Oh, excuse me. So usually whenever I have to burp or something, Czar's right here. Oh, I had McDonald's late last night. It was a bad idea. Ay, the fire, it burns. So quick thing that I wanted to mention to you guys, if you guys are listening to this, please go to our YouTube channel, the Point and Click Podcast on YouTube. Subscribe. We have full episodes that we're uploading on YouTube, and we're doing highlight clips that you can share with your friends or, whatever you'd like to do with those. And as far as, there's my phone popping off. Weird. Says I went live, but I was live already. Now I'm worried. Nah, but anyway. What was I gonna say? See, I lost my train of thought. I have ADD. But yeah, go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like and all that. We're gonna be posting new videos. Czar's got something in the works too, but it's unannounced right now. And you can check out my YouTube as well, John the Wise on YouTube. I started posting highlight clips, and reviews of Twitch Prime free games, which if you have Twitch Prime, that means you probably claimed the loot every month, which is 5 games plus skins plus all kinds of other cool shit. So if you did that, then that means you have an entire giant library of games that you've never played. And I decided I'm going to take those games, take a look at them, and see what they're all about. All right. Well, I'm not going to waste any time right now because real life is pretty much the same as always. My wife is about to give birth. She's right on the verge of it. I'm literally just waiting any day now for us to be like, oh, it's go time, you know? So that's how close it is to the date. If you guys want more information on that, just listen to the Wise and Sassy podcast, the Wise and Sassy podcast. You can find us on iTunes and stuff like that. It's just me and wife talking about our life. You can be up to date on what's going on with us. So I'll save that for that, and I'm just gonna get straight to the news. All right, that's what I'm gonna do right now. So let's get straight to it. All right. So this is from The Verge. The Jacksonville Madden shooting survivor sues EA and tournament venue. Now, today we're going to talk about the Jacksonville shooting, and then towards the end of the podcast, we're going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 and how CD Projekt dropped a gameplay demo, which I'm so fucking hyped about. But let's start with this one. And so, yeah, the Jacksonville Madden shooting survivor sues EA and tournament venue. From what I last heard, there was 3 dead and like 12 injured or something like that. The story is one of the guys that was there lost the tournament, or he lost the match or something. And I'm sure there's a lot of shit talking, as there is with sports in general. So it wouldn't be different in any sports games. There's shit talking. He probably got his feelings hurt. Went out to his car, came back, shot up a bunch of people, killed himself. And we're left with, you know, picking up the pieces on what the fuck we're going to do now with the situation that we're in, which is pretty fucked up, you know. I mean, I think we were all really naive to think that we can go to like these tournaments and these gaming events and nothing will happen because it's just a bunch of nerds. But times are different, you know, times have changed. Now everybody's a nerd. Everybody with an iPhone is a nerd because there's a video game in your hand anytime you need it. So the nerd culture is not even a culture anymore. It is our culture now. So being a nerd is a part of your culture. And a part of our culture, especially in the United States, is these shootings, man. These fucking disgusting shootings. They're bleeding into everything in our society. And this is what we got. It's messed up. It's really messed up. I mean, there's certain things that could have been done to prevent it, and I do think that people should be held accountable for it, which is why we have this headline here. But it's just, I kind of don't want to blame them too hard on it because it's so new, you know. It's like one of those things where like a mistake needs to happen for something to change, and that's what this is. Now we know that we're not safe at any of these events. You know, we have to have security. We have to have rules in place. Like if you leave, you can't come back. They do that at almost every nightclub I go to or I've ever been to. If you leave, you cannot come back. Why? Because of this exact reason. You get into a fight in the club, you get into a fight with somebody, you go to your car, you get your gun, you come back and you kill the person. So what they do is when you leave, you can't come back. That's the rule. And that obviously, you know, I don't know the situation. I don't know shit. I'm just making a suggestion on my experience from what I've seen. And those are the kind of things that need to be done now, you know. All this gun control talk and like changing laws and stuff like that stuff also needs to happen, in my opinion. You know, we do need stricter laws and stuff like that. But right now, what we can do right now without waiting for Congress is having certain rules and security implemented at these events, which makes the cost of the events more expensive, but I think it's worth it. You know, now you have to keep that kind of shit in mind. So it's a dawn of a new day, man, when it comes to these events. But let's read on to this. A victim of the Jacksonville shooting last week left 3 dead and 11 wounded, has filed a negligent security lawsuit that targets both EA, the makers of Madden, the game featured in the blah, 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 and the venue. So Jacob Mitic was shot twice during the event. Now he's seeking damages on the basis that EA and the venue failed to provide a safe and secure environment. Yeah, and he's gonna win, and he's gonna get his money for his medical bills and stuff like that. Previously, victims of mass shootings have tried to sue the venue where the tragedy occurred, but in the case of 2012 Aurora movie theater massacre, the plaintiffs ended up owing the defendants $700,000 instead. What? How could the plaintiffs owe the defendants? I don't even know. That doesn't make sense. The people that were shot owe the movie theater $700,000 instead. This has to be wrong. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe somebody can look into that. But I'm pretty sure they're just going to win because there was no security. Like I said, they let people come in and out. They let people leave and come back. I mean, that's like a big no-no at any event. So that's that. Rest in peace to anybody involved, and, you know, condolences to those families. And now it's a new day, dude. It's a new day. All right, let's move on. Battlefield 5 delayed away from Call of Duty and Red Dead 2. So there's been a lot of Battlefield 5 news, and we've covered a lot of it actually on the podcast, talking about how they had a female on the cover, and a lot of people were upset about it because she was like a cyberpunk female, and then it became this whole like forced inclusion thing where like you have to be okay with it or don't buy the game, and it was just a mess. You know, it was a mess of like PR and social justice warrior twittering all over the place. People made videos about it. Angry Joe and the Quartering went to war for it on YouTube. So there's all kinds of bullshit happening, and I think because of that, their pre-orders have gone down tremendously. On top of all the other shit that EA's done, they're finally paying for it, and they delayed the release because Call of Duty's coming out, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out, and they just want to stack the cards in their favor as much as they can. So I think delaying the game is the best thing they can do right now, and that's exactly what they've decided to do. So they want to make final adjustments to core gameplay, which I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe they realize that if people see the game for what it is, that we're done. You know, we're done. We'll completely lose the trust of our customer, because it's a fine line right now between us trusting EA and their games. Like now, every one of their games that's coming out, we don't trust them. And honestly, I'm putting my tinfoil hat on right now. I think the reason they're being really tiptoe careful right now is because they want Anthem to be their big boy game. They want that one to be the one that everybody's playing. They don't care if they want people to play Battlefield 5, but they want people to trust them enough. They want to like release a few good games in between, so when Anthem comes out, that we get pre-orders, we get people playing the game, and that's it. I mean, hopefully it'll help, but I think the problem with Battlefield is the setting. It's World War II. We're fucking sick of World War II, and that's what it is. That's really what it is. We're sick of World War II, and it's another EA game. And you put those two things together, we're not going to pre-order it, and we're just going to wait for it to release to see if it's worth playing. And that's not what they want. They want people to be excited about their game before it comes out. They want people to pre-order it, to buy the collector's edition, to be ready to play and take the day off work to play with their buddies. That's what they want. So, yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Next piece of news. All right. What is this? Players in Call of Duty know that a loadout isn't just what you carry into battle. What is this? This isn't what I was looking for. Signature weapons, accept the challenges, get the rewards. Call it signature weapons. Oh yeah, okay, I remember this. So Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is going to have something new, which is called signature weapons. They do not have any game-altering stats and perform exactly like their base weapon counterparts. The beauty of signature weapons is in additional layers of depth, so they add to the game's progression with their individual challenges. So they're just weapon skins. It's a weird roundabout way of saying that the new Call of Duty is going to have weapon skins. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, calling them signature weapons and saying things like this when we all know they're just weapon skins. So, I mean, that's all it is. They're just saying there's going to be weapon skins. And that's it. That's literally it. That's literally fucking it. All right, next piece of news. This isn't a photo of Japan, but a city made in Minecraft. Obviously, to you podcast listeners, you don't understand what the fuck we're talking about. But what I'm looking at is a Tokyo or Japanese skyline during the daytime. And it's fucking insane, is what I'm looking at. And if you just Google that into and look for the Kotaku article, this isn't a photo of Japan, but a city made in Minecraft. Kotaku. You can see what this is. It's Sayama City, a Minecraft-made fictional Japanese city with echoes of Osaka, Tokyo, and more. It's like a photo, and like there's zoomed-in pictures and stuff like that. It's pretty insane, dude. It's pretty insane. I don't even know how to begin to tell you guys how insane this is, how much time it took, and how much knowledge you need to have about the game and about construction and architecture and city building. I mean, this puts every other Minecraft thing to shame, dude. It's like ridiculous. I can't believe it. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. So I would recommend you guys check that out. Alright, Doom 2's impossible secret is discovered 24 years later. So there was a secret in Doom 2, apparently, that has been hidden for the longest time. The only way people were able to find it is by data mining. They would data mine the information, and through that they were able to find the secret, but they didn't know how they were able to find it in the game until this guy, Zero Master is his name. He finally figured out how to naturally do it or organically do it in the game, and the creator of the game confirmed it, John Romero. He said, you did it. That's it. That's the way you do it. Apparently, what you had to do was you had to go through a door, but the only way to go through it previously was to use a cheat, which is no clip, and you just go through the door. But because nobody else knew how to do it, this guy figured out that you have to have a monster actually push you. So an enemy will come and push you through the door, and that's how you were supposed to get through it. And that's it. I mean, it has been considered a glitch and was instead deliberate, this whole thing. So it makes this guy the first person to 100% finish the game, because nobody else was able to get that one secret done before him. I thought that was a nice little tidbit. Let's go. Next piece of news. Fortnite on PlayStation doesn't have cross-platform play with other consoles because they are worse, explains Sony boss. Okay, let me just take a sip of my coffee real quick. Let me break this down for you guys. So I read this article, and there's been a lot of shit going on right now with Sony, Xbox, Nintendo, and the PC gaming Fortnite communities. They want cross-platform play. Xbox and Nintendo said no problem. You can play with PC, Nintendo, and Xbox. We're all a big happy family. PlayStation said you can only play with PC. But all the Xbox and Switch games, no. And for the longest time, we didn't understand why. And it didn't make any sense, but now they finally told us why. Because they think the Xbox and the Switch are inferior consoles. And they don't think that it's fair for their customers to play with inferior consoles, that their customers' experience will be diminished because they're playing with other people that have shitty computers or shitty consoles or whatever you want to call them. And so that's their opinion. They don't want to hurt their customer in their eyes by letting them play with people that have inferior consoles. And I mean, everybody's upset. Obviously, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, because I don't care what you're playing on as long as I can play with my friend. That's all I care about. I don't care if he has... That's like, okay, how can I make this analogy? It's like we go on a road trip. I bring my Ferrari, you bring your Honda Civic, and I tell you, you know what? My road trip experience is going to be diminished because you're bringing your Civic and I'm bringing my Ferrari, and we might as well just not go together because you're diminishing my experience, which I can understand because there are certain limitations that your car has that mine doesn't, but that makes no difference if all I want to do, if my only goal is for us to go on this trip together, not for me to like beat you in a race. All I want to do is spend time with you. Then it's irrelevant what kind of car you're driving. And it's the same kind of thing with this situation. I don't give a shit if your Switch sucks. I don't care if your Xbox is not as good as my PC. If you're my cousin and you live across the world and I want to play video games with you, that's all I care about. I just want to play video games with you, dude. I don't want to play. I don't care what you have in your house, how much money you have in your bank account, or anything like that. So either Sony is super arrogant. Well, I mean, they are arrogant by saying something like this, or I don't know, man. I just don't know, and it's honestly sad that this is a situation that we're in. I don't even like Fortnite. I couldn't give a shit about Fortnite, but I can appreciate when people just want to spend time with each other and play together, and they're not able to. But if you're playing Fortnite, your life is diminished. Thanks, Maddie. You're right. So let me see. Was there any other tidbits from here? Yeah, so they said that they let people play with PC because they're like PCs are not inferior, and we think that that's okay. So that was their whole idea with PCs. Then this article goes into VR for some reason. I don't get it. So that's why you're not able to play with your buddies. Ooh, another thing that I read in the comments was apparently if you make an Epic Games account for Fortnite on your PlayStation and you buy a bunch of skins and you spend a bunch of money on it, that account cannot be used for any other platform. You can't use it for PC, Xbox, Switch, nothing like that. But that's not the case with the other ones. If I make a PC account, I could play it on my Switch, I could play it on my Xbox, but I can't play it on my PlayStation. So it's another little thing that just doesn't make any sense, dude. Like they're being super Nazis about it, dude. Like I don't understand. I just want to play with my friends. That's it. I want it to be easy. And right now it's the most popular game out there. So I really don't understand why people are like, well, I don't know why Sony's thinking this way. So anyway, let's move on. Check out this virtual reality painting at the Louvre. If you guys are listening to this, Google it. Excuse me. Apparently this artist is at the Louvre in France. Louvre. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. I'm just a filthy, uncultured American. And it's actually pretty insane. I was telling wife about this a little while ago, that this is the future of architecture. People are going to go into virtual reality and design an entire house, bedrooms, floors, lobby, everything. You know, a big giant warehouse, maybe an office building, everything from the ground up. You can just sit there one by one, draw all the little things that you want to draw. I mean, if you're looking at this this animated GIF right now, it's insane. So Minecraft, exactly. Minecraft in virtual reality, Maddie. That's exactly what this is. So yeah, I think it's pretty intense. I think it's the future. It looks really cool, and what a time to be alive. Next piece of news. Hold on one second. Dude, I never thought of that. It is, exactly. It's pretty sick, right? What's up, Dreamstream? Alright, so this is actually fucking hilarious. I watched this, there's this show called War Stories by Ars Technica on YouTube, and they talk to like video game designers from back in the day, and this one, it's called How Gamers Killed Ultima Online's Virtual Ecology. And Ultima Online was one of the very first games out there. It was built on the PC, I think. And it was kind of like a D&D esque game where you had like a choose your own adventure kind of thing going on, as well as like a text adventure. So it was one of the first ones out there. Then obviously it evolved to being other types of games, more like Diablo esque, where you pick up items and stuff like that. But there was a time where they designed the game in Ultima Online where basically what you would have to do is there was two different types of enemies. There was herbivores and there was carnivores, which I don't understand what that was all about. But apparently the map was littered with all kinds of rabbits and birds and stuff like that. And then there was bears and wolves and other stuff like that. If you kill the bears and wolves, you get more XP, you get way more rewards. And if you kill the bunnies and fucking deers and cows, you get almost next to nothing. So they thought that was enough to intrigue the players or to incentivize the players to kill the carnivores. They also designed this ecosystem where the bears kill the bunnies, and when there's no more bunnies left, the bears starve, and then the bunnies come back, and it's just like real life, just like nature. So they were like, the players will just kill the carnivores. There will be more herbivores. Then the herbivores will, eat all the grass. Once the grass is gone, they'll die. And then the bears will come back. So the population can take care of itself. What they didn't take into account for was that players were just going to kill everything. They literally just killed everything. They didn't give a fuck if you got more XP from killing carnivores and less XP from killing bunnies. They didn't give a shit about any of that, dude. They just went one by one, just murdering everything in sight, to the point where they were like, they couldn't keep up with it. They couldn't keep up with the murder, dude. So they literally had to like shut down the game, rewrite the code from scratch, and try to fix the situation, because players were literally just killing everything in sight. And that's when they learned that the impact that players can have on their code. Which, by the way, look at this guy's like little rat tail fucking. He's like bald in the front, and then he has like a little rat tail. I'm not judging, but I'm judging. But anyway, yeah. So then he said they finally had to like take the code out of the game, the ecology code and stuff like that. And he said no one noticed. The players did not even notice, dude. The players did not even notice that anything had changed. He said it took them months to try to figure out what the fuck's going on. Let's see if we can get a little listen.
And instead, we assumed that they would tend to fight the carnivores, not only because the carnivores would be attacking them, but also we had created quests to where the pelts of the carnivores were worth more. And so we assumed that that was sort of the leapfrog target that everyone would take on, the same way we rationally were playing the game, we thought. Frankly, the service didn't work.
All right, so that's it. And then he says exactly what I said. All right, next piece of news. Here's 15 minutes of Battlefield 5 running on an RTX 2080 Ti. So the RTX 2080 Ti is the new NVIDIA graphic card that's supposed to be the new hot shit. It's $1,200 retail, so that means that when it comes out, it'll sell out right away, and then any copies of it that you need will probably be like $1,500 to $2,000, because there's nothing else out there. And I'm sure you guys are all happy about that. Let's just check this out. Let's check out this video of Battlefield 5 running on the best graphic card out there right now, and not deafen my viewers. So I'm looking at it. It looks amazing. It's a World War II setting. I feel like, is this 1080p? Oh, it's on 406p. Why? Give me 1080, dude. Hold on one second. I don't know why it's not giving me 1080 all automatically. I mean, from what everybody says, computers can't even handle the new graphics that are out there. So I'm just watching. There's nice reflections off the water and stuff like that, and apparently there's dynamic lighting, and that's what's different about this RTX 2080. And yeah, as Maddie said, the answer is it looks no different. If you have a 1080 Ti, you're not missing out on anything. They just haven't figured it out yet. They haven't figured out what's better, what's worse. And this game looks so okay, dude. That's why they delayed this game, dude. This game looks so okay, man. Battlefield 5 is the most okay game I've ever seen in my life, dude. It's just making weird, like, oh man. It's gonna flop so bad, dude. I'm not excited about this game. I'm watching it, I'm not excited about it. Next piece of news. EA, just get your shit together, EA. Make games because you want to make games, because you love games, man. Or get people involved that love making games and let them take over, dude. It is just the same rehashed game. Exactly, Dreamstream. There's nothing new here. I'm not looking at anything different. It's a different setting. It's a World War II setting, not something we haven't seen before, you know, with updated graphics. That's all it is, dude. It's nothing cool. I'm out of here, dude. Next piece of news. Alright, holy shit, man. We've been covering the shit out of this whole Riot Games situation. Last time we talked about it, Cecilia D'Anastasio, I think is her name. I totally butchered her name, but she was a journalist that wrote an article about the culture of Riot Games. Excuse me. The culture of Riot Games. And it was filled with first-hand testimonials of women saying that they were objectified at work, they were sexually harassed. There was like all kinds of inappropriate jokes going on in the workplace, which, dude, if anybody's watched my stream or has listened to this podcast, the same kind of jokes that we make on this podcast were said in a business environment and stuff like that. And obviously, I think that making those jokes is okay in the right environment. But from what I read, in a professional environment, I would never make any of those jokes. I would never force somebody that is my coworker to listen to those jokes because they didn't ask for it, you know? People that come to my stream or listen to this podcast, they know what they're signing up for. But when you go to Riot Games, you're going there to be an employee because you want to better your career. You want to work in one of the most exciting new companies out there that make one of the top games of the world, of history. And that's exactly what happens when you work at Riot Games. You're subjected to sexual harassment and all kinds of crazy shit. But if you go to barryhawkins.com, Barry Hawkins used to be one of the top management position at Riot Games. He was like right there with the co-creators of Riot Games, and he was there. He's one of the top guys. And he left in 2014, 4 years ago, because of this exact same reason, and he kept quiet. He kept quiet out of respect for the people that he worked with. He didn't want to make a shitstorm. That's his own, personal thing. I'm not going to judge him for that. And I'm just going to say I understand where he's coming from. But he said now that he didn't want to keep quiet anymore, and he had to say something. And I got to tell you guys, the TLDR, it's a whole fucking large wall of text, this whole vlog. But I read blog, I should say. I read the whole thing, and I was fucking shocked, man. I couldn't believe it. It's filled with rape jokes at like a public AMA, and then they took the rape joke and they made it part of their like hiring process. It's fucked up, man. It's really fucked up. And he like, the co-creators of Riot Games were being inappropriate, and then when he came out and he told that, he like said something about it. He said, "Hey, this is inappropriate, dude. You can't make a rape joke. You can't say stuff like this in a business environment. It's not right." They ridiculed him. They held a meeting with all the top management, and they pretty much had him stand on stage, and they were like, "What do you think about this shirt?" And they held up a shirt that was an iceberg coming out of the water, and it said just the tip. And he said, "What do you think about this shirt?" And he said, "I don't think it's appropriate to wear at work." And then they went on a tirade of calling him like a special little snowflake, or, you know, saying people don't have a sense of humor, that that's what's wrong with our society. And it's like, dude, I get it. If that's how you feel, if you feel like our society's lost their sense of humor and they can't make the same jokes that they used to be able to make, and now you got to watch everything you say because it's sexual harassment, I get if that's your opinion. But when it comes to a professional work environment, there's no discussion here, dude. You can't make those kinds of sexual jokes at work because you're going to offend somebody that didn't ask to hear that joke. And that's all he was trying to tell them. He wasn't telling them that you're disgusting or that the jokes that you're making are disgusting. He was just saying, like, dude, it's not appropriate for work. I don't know how else to fucking tell you this. And a bunch of people that he worked with at Riot Games were thinking along the same lines as him, but they were afraid to say something because they were afraid that they were going to lose their job. And dude, take it from me, man. I know Dreamstream, I don't even think you would make a rape joke. I mean, in the right context, in the right way, I might make a joke here and there that it's not always kosher, you know what I mean? But that's what my stream is about, dude. Like, my stream is about letting loose and saying stuff like that. You know what I mean? Whatever the fuck you want to say here. And that's what our podcast is, literally dick jokes and stuff like that. And that's what we say in the beginning of our show, so people know that this is a comedy podcast. You know, we set the tone from the beginning. If I have a job interview at Riot Games, I'm not going to assume that I can just make dick jokes. You know what I mean? But so that's what happened, and he wrote this really long article. On top of this article that he wrote and the article written by Kotaku, Riot Games has come under like ridiculous scrutiny right now. Ridiculous scrutiny. So they had to make a response, and that takes us to our next piece of news. They said, "We're sorry. Riot pledges sweeping changes to address accusations of sexism." And it's from the same writer, Cecilia D'Anastasio. That's her name. So today, 22 days after Kotaku published an article, blah, 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 Riot posted a blog apologizing that Riot hasn't always been or wasn't the place we promised you, and promising to make big, impactful cultural changes. Now, they've made promises like this before, unfortunately, and nothing had changed. The frat boy bro culture, as they call it, is still in effect over there. And I mean, it's the kind of shit where, like, you're a girl, you want to work at Riot Games, they say come in for an interview, you sit in for an interview, you're a gamer, all right, you love video games, and they go, what kind of games do you play? And literally, these are first-hand accounts from women. They would say a game like, let's say Stardew Valley, right? It's a farming simulator, something like that. They would scoff at the women and say, no, but what real games do you play? Like some fucking 12-year-old gatekeeper that thinks that, you know, you can't work here unless you play real games. And it's like, dude, just because they like those artsy-fartsy games that you don't like doesn't mean that they're not gamers. They just didn't understand that. So this is, I don't know if you can really change anything there, man. The co-creators, the two top people at Riot Games, were the ones that were making these fucked up jokes, and it trickled down to the bottom employees. The employees on the bottom were like, hey, if they can make those jokes, then we can. I mean, and they're not wrong. They were able to. They never lost their job. No one got in trouble. They would apparently grope women at work and shit like that. No one got in trouble. So nothing has changed. But the company employs 2,500 people, 80% whom are male. Its 3 top leaders and 21 out of its 23-person senior leadership team are men. 3 days after the article went live and after other current and former Riot employees began sharing their stories, Riot posted this on Twitter. To listen, we have to be quiet. You haven't heard from us because we're focused on listening and supporting internally. in the weeks and months ahead, we'll share the immediate and long-term actions we're taking to enact real change for women at Riot. Now, it's hard for me to believe that they're really going to make it, that they really feel that way, because literally that guy, Barry Hawkins, that wrote that article, he was saying all these things 4 years ago. And he was a respected colleague of theirs, dude. They liked him. The co-creators liked him. They hired him because they thought he was talented, and they liked him for the company. And when he wasn't fired, he left. So they didn't want him to leave. So if they don't listen to a colleague who they consider a friend, who they consider an important opinion, why would they listen to anybody else? So I don't understand why this has happened. You know, their legal department and all that shit probably got involved and said, hey, this is a shitstorm now, and we have to say something and do something. So hopefully, though, they do see where they fucked up. They do see where, you know, things do need to change. But I have doubts, dude. Like I said, they had a guy working there 4 years ago telling them all these things. They didn't do anything for 4 fucking years until it became what it is today. So, sounds like the creators are part of some toxic community that their game made. Dude, there's more reports about Riot employees I saw on Reddit being toxic to players. Some guy wrote on Reddit, he was playing a ranked game, and in all chat, a Riot employee, obviously Riot employees, they have their own, you know, name tag. It's different than everybody else's. It's unique. He started shit talking him, saying he's bronze tier trash, you suck, blah blah blah, just being totally toxic. And the guy's like, dude, you're from Riot. Everybody in the game was like, dude, you're a Riot employee. Are you serious? And he's like, I don't give a fuck. Report me. You're all bitches. Blah 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 blah. And then it's like, that's the kind of environment over there at Riot. Like, the dude's not even afraid to lose his job, man. No one's afraid to lose their job over misconduct, because that shit just goes on like no problem. It's literally a frat boy or a frat house over there. It's a frat house. Bro culture. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life, dude. I get wanting to be free, and look, I get it, man. This whole SJW shit, it's taking a toll on everybody, man. And we're starting to like get fatigue from it. We're tired of it, dude. We're tired of all this fucking shit going on, man, about use the right pronoun and stuff like that. Like, it all has good intentions. I get it, man. We just want people to feel included and happy and feel like they're not an outcast, and feel like that they're a good person, that the way they are is okay. They don't need to change for society. I get all that, dude. I get it. But there's so much hate and violence behind it that people are just getting so fucking tired of it, man. I get that. But this is not that, dude. You're not making it better by calling those people special little snowflakes at work and making those inappropriate jokes. You're not making it better, dude. You're just being a shitty person on the other side of the spectrum. That's all it is. There's shitty people on that side of the spectrum that get pissed off at you because you didn't use the right pronoun, even though you literally met them 2 seconds ago and you're not sure. And then there's these assholes that make rape jokes in front of you at work. You know, both people are pieces of shit, all right? Most people that everybody has met that falls in the middle, you know, gay, straight, transgender, bi, whatever you want to call it, most people in the middle are way more tolerant. They just want peace. They want everybody to live in harmony with each other, and they're more understanding. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen someone like they'll tell you, "Oh yeah, that's all good. I'm not a she, I'm a he. My pronoun is this, and it's all good. Don't worry. You don't need to be upset. I'm not upset. We're fine. We're friends. We're hanging out. It's not a big deal." I've seen that happen many times. That's a normal human interaction, okay? Whoops, made a mistake. Sorry. As Maddie says, it's not saying you're not allowed to say stuff. It's don't expect to say rude shit and not have reaction and consequence. Exactly. You can't say those. No one's saying don't make those jokes. The people that are telling you that those jokes are wrong, that's their own opinion. You know what I mean? And I get it. It's just do it outside of work, dude. When I go to work, dude, when I clock in, I'm a different person because I can't be myself at work. That's not part of my job description. When I work for a company, I represent that company and I agreed to it when I signed my name on the dotted line. Do I hate it? Do I hate putting on a fake persona? Fuck yeah, I do, but who doesn't hate their job, dude? Who doesn't hate putting on a fake persona, being someone that they're not? But that's the kind of sacrifice that you make for a fucking paycheck, dude. I'll be a fake person as long as you pay me. That's what I'm telling them. They're like, hey, we'll give you money, just don't make rape jokes and represent our company better. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can bite my tongue, wait till I'm home and off the clock with my buddies, and we can make those jokes. I don't have to do it at work, dude. So that's the situation. Yeah, John becomes Wendy, the Avon lady. That's it. So I hope they figure it out at Riot Games. I think that as someone who thinks bro culture is fun, I do think sometimes it's fun, to have that whole fraternity bro culture, hanging out with the guys making stupid jokes. I can get the fun of it, but at this point when you're making someone uncomfortable and you're hurting someone's feelings, there's nothing good about that, dude. There's nothing good about hurting someone's feelings and deliberately and then calling them a piece of shit because they told you that you're hurting their feelings at work, Now you're a piece of shit. So, next piece of news. All right, back to regular video game news. No more politics. New Xbox All Access program lets you pay monthly for an Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live. So, what does this mean? Now, the subscription service thing is huge in our culture right now. Everybody's got Netflix, everybody's got Amazon, some people got Hulu, other people got HBO Go, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. So, Microsoft is just like thinking we got to do the same thing with video games. EA started it with Origin. I believe they're the first company to do it, where you just pay a flat monthly fee and you can play any game in their library. Xbox is pretty much wanting to do the same thing. You pay a monthly pass, you get Xbox Live, and you can play any game that's a part of their library. So let's see. It's a new monthly financing program called Xbox All Access. The program allows users to commit to a 2-year plan where they pay monthly for either an Xbox One S or One X and subscriptions to both Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass. Oh shit, you get a console too. Oh, I didn't know that actually. The Xbox One X bundle, which costs $35 a month for 2 years, is in line with the roughly $860 a person would normally pay. Oh shit, they're financing their Xboxes now. Oh shit, so you get an Xbox Live account, you get Xbox Live Gold, you get an Xbox One X, and you get the Game Pass for $35 a month for 2 years. Let's see what's with this Game Pass. Considering it involves subscribing to the $10 a month service for 2 years, the program lets you download and play games from a growing library of over 100 as if you own them for as long as you're a member. Yeah, so that's exactly what I said. But I think just the $35 a month for the Xbox One X and the Xbox Live is already pretty cool. Especially for someone that can't afford to drop like $1,000 on a new console, dude. That's literally how expensive they are nowadays. You need like 2 controllers, some accessories, and a few games. You put it all together brand new. It's fucking like almost $1,000, dude. $800, something like that. And not a lot of people can just drop it on a console, dude. We live real life, man. I'm about to have a baby. There's no way I can do that. There's no way I can fucking do that. I can't even think about doing something like that. In fact, I don't even want to do something like that. So that's the situation. I think it's a really cool idea, and I think this is exactly the situation we're going to be in the far future, or the near future, I should say, with all these subscription services. We're going to have so many subscription services that it's going to be just as expensive as having cable. So I'm kind of excited about it. So yeah, there we go. Next piece of news. Oh yeah, spoiler alert, Maddie, I'm having a baby. Check this out, dudes. Streets of Rage 4. That's right. They're making a new Streets of Rage, and it's exactly like the old school Streets of Rage. Nothing is different. They just made it with like a new, I guess, art style. And it's kind of the same art style. It's just newer graphics. But it's the same beat 'em up that you guys grew up playing. And it looks fucking awesome. I'm hyped for it, but a lot of people that haven't played the game in the past, like the newer generation, I don't know if they're going to be as hyped for it. It looks fucking cool. It's literally just a side-scrolling beat 'em up. That's what it is. Wait, here's the combat. Boom, 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 boom. Kicks, punches, combos, boom, boom. Everybody flying all over the screen. Pretty fucking sick, huh? Now the same shit we sold you 20 years ago. Revamped. HD remix. That's right, Kaiser. What's up? How you doing? Alright, so new Streets of Rage 4 is going to be coming out. I don't know if this is going to be a PC game or probably going to be one of those like Xbox Arcade, PS4 Arcade games plus mobile game. I'm not sure. It doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. So we just got this reveal trailer. I'm semi-hyped about it, so should be good. I hope it comes out on Steam too, Kaiser. I'm pretty sure it will. I mean, you'll be pretty dumb to not release it on Steam. Can I play as Bowser? Next piece of news. So if you guys haven't already watched the 48-minute walkthrough gameplay reveal of Cyberpunk 2077, let me tell you guys something, man. Please, for the love of God, check it out and be as hyped about this game as I am. And I'll explain to you guys why I'm hyped. Because wife actually sat down with me and she told me, hey, remember No Man's Sky? Don't get all hyped about a game that hasn't released yet. And she's right. You shouldn't be hyped about a game that hasn't released yet. Like Anthem, Battlefield 5. Those games you should not be pre-ordering. Because we've been bit in the ass before. But I told her, wife, this is a different situation. Because it was made by CD Projekt Red, who knows how to make amazing video games, who has integrity, and at their core, they just want to make a good fucking game, dude. That's something we're just missing with a lot of these. You know where we're getting that? We're getting it from indie developers, and that's why these indie games are doing so fucking well, because they just want to make a good game, dude. They want to make a fun game that they can be proud of, dude. That's why these indie developers, we love them so much. And that's why we love CD Projekt Red, because they're this big shot AAA studio that just wants to make good fucking games, dude. And they would rather focus on one game and put everything into it than do 10 different games and make them all shitty loot box generators, dude. Before this game even came out, they said no loot boxes, no paid DLCs, nothing like that. All right? What you see is what you get. We're not doing any of that stuff. And if you watch the trailer, or this gameplay footage, the best thing about this whole gameplay footage is on the top of it, it says work in progress does not represent the final look of the game. It says that on the top of this 48-minute thing the entire way. And the reason I'm pointing it out is because it's very important. When you're watching this thing, the entire time you're thinking, oh my god, I want to play this game. At least I was thinking that. I wasn't thinking, oh my god, this game's not done. This isn't. I wasn't thinking this is cool, but I'll wait till it's done. I was thinking whatever this is, I want it. Whatever this game is, I want it. And their idea, their mentality, their philosophy is this isn't done. We got, please don't judge this game on just what you see here. We got more coming to you. And it's like, dude, if you think this is a work in progress and this isn't a finished game, I can't wait to see what the fuck you got going on, dude. I can't wait to see exactly what it is. And they're so adamant about it. This was revealed during a Twitch stream. They randomly just turned on their Twitch stream for like a few hours, and it was just a jumble of code on the screen. And then after that, they played this 48-minute walkthrough. But during that jumble of code, there was like secret messages between it, and someone finally deciphered what the secret message was. It was a letter from CD Projekt Red. And pretty much the TLDR of this is they wanted everyone to know that they didn't want to show us anything yet because they're not done with the game. They weren't secure about how they felt the game looks. Because they want to do so much better. They want to do so much more. They want it to be more beautiful than it is. I don't know how they could possibly do that. And take it from me, guys. I literally, before I even knew what Dungeons and Dragons was, before I even rolled my first D20 to play Dungeons and Dragons, my buddy showed me Cyberpunk 2020, which is the tabletop game that is that is the influencer of this PC game of Cyberpunk 2077. They took the tabletop game that they grew up playing, which has its own crazy story. The studio is a Polish studio, and Mike Pondsmith, the author of Cyberpunk 2020, they asked him, "Hey, we wanna translate your game to multiple languages," and he said, "Yeah, sure." And they asked him if they could do it in Polish, and he was like, "Polish? How many people in Poland even give a shit about the game?" And they were like, "Well, I mean, there's a market. It's not a big market, but there's people that like to play the game." And he didn't believe that anybody would give a shit about his game in Poland. But he said, all right, whatever. I mean, if you want to translate it to Poland. Well, thank God he did that, because the creators of the game, or the people that played it in Poland, later on grew up to make CD Projekt Red, dude. And that's why they want to make this fucking game. It's the craziest thing, dude. No, if you go to the Cyberpunk 2020 subreddit right now, there's like maybe 1,000 people subscribed to it. I'm one of them. There's nobody there. It's a barren wasteland. I promise you, when this game releases, it's gonna go above and beyond on another fucking spectrum, dude. And it's just insane to see this. I grew up playing that game, and no one gave a shit about it. And then all of a sudden, the people that made The Witcher are like, "Hey, we're gonna make a game about it." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" My whole life, no one gave a fuck about it, and then now this like AAA company is like, "Yeah, we're gonna make an in-depth game that's probably gonna be one of the best games ever made. It's gonna be a historical game." I'm like, so you can't imagine how fucking beside myself I am with this whole thing. But yeah, so pretty much in this this statement that they released, they were just saying thank you to everybody, and please be patient. There's so much more that we want to implement in the game that's not ready to go yet. So just give it a chance, give us some time, and trust us. And they've said many times before, there's no loot crates, there's none of that shit. They also have hinted at multiplayer. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really, 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 really excited about it. Like, really excited about it. So, I mean, just look at this gameplay, dude. It looks beautiful, dude. It looks beautiful, man. They even have the lore correctly. Everything, like the city. Where's the part where they're walking through the city? Dude, look at this thing, dude. Do you understand? Like, this was all in my head when I was like 16, 17, 18 years old, dude. This was all in my head, and now I'm watching it come to life right in front of my eyes, dude. You come out, like, look at this, dude. This is insane, man. This whole Night City PD right there, and there's advertisements and everything, and it's during the daytime. Oh my god, man. You guys have no idea how excited I am. It just looks so beautiful, dude. It's so well made. The city, the way that, like, the AI of, like, the people walking around, it looks like a real fucking city. There's street performers, there's people just walking around, drinking their coffee, walking around the street. I mean, GTA tried to do the same thing and they were revolutionary. And this looks like it's the new one. They're taking it a step further than what GTA has done. People following traffic laws, waiting at crosswalks to cross the street, but as they're waiting, they're on their phone. Like, exactly like a real city, dude. Insane, dude. Insane. I can't believe this, dude. So go check out the Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay reveal if you guys want to see more of it. It looks like it's going to be a fun game, and I'm excited about it, as I've said 1,000 times already. All right, you guys are tired of it. You're like, I get it, John, I get it. Well, that's it, my dudes. Unfortunately, Czar was not here with me today, and it was just me by myself. But I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to offer. And next week he will be on. And we will be talking about video games once again. And we're finally going to have our guest, Ethan M. Blevins, is going to be with us. We found him on YouTube. He is a content creator. And we honestly, we are fans of him because of his hard work and dedication. And I just wanted to talk to him because I feel like his dedication, and I'm kind of inspired by it, dude. Because even though his viewership is not as high as he wants it to be, and as high as it needs to be for it to be as successful as it's supposed to be, I'm still really in awe of his dedication. Like, he still doesn't give up, And I want to talk to him about it and see if there's anything he can tell us that'll help us in what we're trying to do. And just to hang out and just network and have a good time, man. We love meeting new people around here. So other than that, make sure you hop onto my YouTube, John the Wise. The Point and Click podcast is also on YouTube. Actually, I think I have a command for it in chat. If you guys are here listening to the podcast, you guys heard it earlier already. And what else? The Wise and Sassy podcast with wife is also every week. We're ready to go, always talking about new things. We're going to have our baby soon, so we're going to have baby talk probably. We try not to talk too much about the baby because you don't want to hear it every week, but it's hard not to when that's like literally our entire life is revolving around it, So other than that, 9 a.m. PST every day, I'll be streaming and playing some PUBG or HOTS, and that's pretty much it. So on behalf of Czar and I, thank you guys so much for coming by. We love you guys, and we appreciate the support, constant support. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy this new theme song, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye. Welcome to the Point Podcast. Czar Salesman.
We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
There's just a couple of good guys virtue signaling their life away.
It smelled like wet dog. We pretend people care about our opinions.
life away. So stay woke, stay fresh,